Hello viewers, in this tutorial I am going to demonstrate how to connect Microsoft Power BI with MySQL database to create a simple analytical report. In this tutorial, I will demonstrate how you can connect to a MySQL database from Microsoft Power BI to pull the data to create a simple analytical report. Please note that the purpose of this tutorial is not to teach you about MySQL database, but to focus on how to connect, pull the data, and design a report in Power BI. I have a full series on Power BI and Oracle about how to create simple to advanced level analytical reports, and if you want to learn advanced level Power BI reports and dashboards, I suggest you watch that series, for which I have given the link in the description of this video below. Again, it doesn't matter which database you are pulling the data from. It may be an Oracle database, Postgres database, MySQL, or an Excel spreadsheet. All that matter is that how you present the data in your analytical report. So without delaying, let's first start with downloading the Microsoft Power BI desktop version, which is a free to learn software. Currently it is available only for Windows platform, so we are going to install it in our Windows PC. To download the software, first we'll search for the Power BI desktop in Google search, and we will go to this Microsoft Power BI desktop download site from www.microsoft.com. Let's open it, and then we need to select the language, which is obviously going to be English for us. And there are a couple of details available which you can take a look into, like what is the version of the Power BI desktop that we are going to download, how much space is required for the installer, what version of the installer available, and a couple of other requirements like your Windows version. It supports up to Windows 8.1, Windows Server 2016, etc. Quite a few backward compatibilities there, and the installation instructions. So we don't need to go into detail into that. Just click on the download button here, and then we have the option to download the 32-bit and 64-bit version of the Power BI installer. And obviously it's going to be 64-bit. Most of the PCs or desktops or your laptops are 64-bit these days, so we'll select the 64-bit and click next, and then it will start downloading the software, which is around 460 MB, and it's taking around a couple of seconds, and it is done. Now I'll click on the installer to start the installation. Let's minimize this window. Yeah, and we have the setup program. The language is English. Click next. Click yes for the permission. Let it complete the computation of the space requirements. Click on the next button and accept the terms of the license agreement. Click next, and we are okay with the path selected for installation: C:\program files Microsoft Power BI desktop. We'll click next and create a desktop shortcut. We'll select this option, and then the installation will start. Now the installation is completed, and we'll click finish. The launch Microsoft Power BI desktop is checked on, so it will be started automatically after we close the installer. And there we go, we have a shortcut created in the desktop, and the Power BI application console looks like this. We will close all these splash screens because we'll get everything we need to learn through the menu items. And now we are ready to connect to our MySQL database, pull the data, and create our first analytical report. I assume that you already have a MySQL database in your local machine or in your network along with the credentials to connect. You will get all these details from your database administrator or the DBA of your database. If you don't have one, then you can install the MySQL database in your local machine, which is a free software, and there are tons of videos in YouTube showing how to install MySQL database. I am also giving the link to download and install MySQL in the description of this video below. In this video, I am mainly focusing on how to connect to the database, pull the data, and design your report. To connect to the database, first click on this Get Data button here, and then go to this More option. In this Get Data dialog box, select this database option in the left, and in the right hand side we have to select this MySQL database. Now before I press this connect button, let me tell you that when you connect to MySQL database from a third-party software like Power BI, you may encounter an error if the required components or the connectors are not installed in the system. This is expected, and I will show you how to resolve this issue within a minute. So I will first click on this connect button, and as expected, I have encountered this error from the MySQL database, which is telling me this connector requires one or more additional components to be installed before it can be used. So I will simply click on OK, and to resolve this issue we have to download one connector component. For that, first I will go to Google and search for is download MySQL connector net. Press enter, and in the first link, download connector /net MySQL developer zone, I will open it in a separate tab. In this page, we get the details about the connector, which is connector /net 8.0.32 is the version. This is the latest one which is available to download now, and the platform is obviously going to be Windows for us, and the connector installer, that is the MSI version, is selected by default here, and this 32-bit connector will work for us, and we will simply click on the download button. And in this screen, we don't have to log in or sign up. Simply click on this no thanks, just start my download, and it takes just a couple of seconds to download this small MSI file. Then click on this downloaded MSI file, and it starts the installer to install the MySQL connector net 8.0.32, and we will click on the next button. Then we will go for a complete installation. Then we will click on the install button, press the yes button, and this installation will hardly take a couple of seconds, and this is done. Now click on the finish button to complete and exit the installation. Now we will go back to our Power BI window. Now the required connectors were installed, and we came back to our Power BI window. But before we attempt to connect, let me close this Power BI window and restart it so that new settings will take effect. Close this splash screen. Then we will go to this get data button, then more, and like we did in the last time, in the left hand side list we will select the database option, and in the right hand side we will select MySQL database, and then click on this connect button. And this time we did not encounter the issue. Now in this dialog box, we need to provide a few details to connect to the MySQL database. First, the DNS or the IP address of the server. If you install it in your local machine, then instead of the IP address or the DNS, you can simply put localhost here. But in my case, I have installed the MySQL database in one of my Linux virtual machine, which has an IP address of 192.168.1.100. Secondly, you need to supply the port at which the database is listening to the incoming requests for connection, and that has to be provided in this same line but separated by a colon. So usually the default port for MySQL is 3306, and if you are using the default port, you don't even have to specify. I am mentioning it here just to show you how it needs to be specified here. So the IP address or the DNS, and there is a colon, and after that we need to specify the port. Then in this database box, you need to specify the name of the database or the schema. So what is a schema? A schema is a logical collection of the database objects like the tables, views, etc. It is also referred to as a database itself. In my case, I have created a schema named MySchema in the database, which has the table from where I will pull the data. So I will simply put the name of that schema here, which is MySchema, and then click on the OK button. In the next screen, it is going to ask for the username and password to connect to the database. So in these two options, Windows and database, we will select the database option, and then in the username field, the name of the user is MySQL admin for me, and for you it may be different, which you will get from your DBA. And then the password, you just supply the password that you get from your DBA, or as you have created this particular user, or the password that you have given to this user that you are using in your local database, and then click on the connect button. Now you can see that it has connected to the database, and also in the left hand side it has given us a list. In my database, that is in this server, there is only one schema named MySQL, and there is a table called employee that has some employee data. So I will simply select this, and in the right hand side it will display the information about the employees, like the first name, last name, department, and the salary. These 4 are the columns in the table, and this table has some sample data. Please note that these are just sample data and does not represent any fact or real world information. And then we will click on this load button. It will take a couple of seconds to load the data, and the data has been loaded. And if you want to take a look, you can click on this data view. It will show us the information or the data available, and this gives us the model view of the data. Right now there is nothing to model because there is just one relation or table we can see, or you can say it's an entity, and that has the employee information. So we will not go deeper into the modeling part here. Now we'll go back to our report view. That is nothing but the canvas where we are going to design our report. So in the right hand side you will see a lot of visualizations available, and from that we will first select the most simplest, the table view. And once you click there, the table visual will be automatically available in your canvas, and then we will select our fields from this table which is available with our employee data. First we will select the department. You can drag and drop here, or you can click on this checkbox here, which will automatically add that to this report, and we can see that the department information is available. Then we will add the first name, and we see the first names are available, then the last name, and finally the salary. And we will make this a little bigger, and that's our first tabular view of the data. Next we are going to add a pie chart to show us the sum of salaries grouped by each of these departments, to find out which department is actually paying the maximum salary to their employees. So we will click on this pie chart, and if you see that immediately our table view has changed to a pie chart. In fact, it was a mistake, and when one of the visual is already selected, if you click on any of the other visuals here, your original visual will change the type to that particular type which you have just selected. So don't do that. I will just undo it, and we go back to our table view, click outside of this table so that we can add a new visual. So this pie chart is available, and here we will add our information because we want to see the sum of the salary grouped by each of the departments. So first our legend will be added here as department, and the values will be salary. By default, PowerBI is going to sum up all the salaries in each of the department, and if we increase the size, we can see that which slice has the biggest size, and it is the IT which is paying the maximum salary as 38,500. Next we are going to add a filter. A filter is nothing but, say if you want to see the information related to accounts department or say IT department, that way you can select only the relevant data. And to do that, again we will click outside of any of these visuals like in the canvas, then we will add this slicer here, and it adds one slicer, and this is going to work as our filter. So what we want to filter here is the department. So select the department here, and the department's information are available. And now you can see that, say if we want to select the data only from accounts department, select the accounts, and you can see that the employees now displayed there are only belonging to the accounts department. And also this pie chart has changed to a complete circle, which is showing us information only related to accounts department. Now if you want to select another department along with accounts, you have to select using control, then click on the other one, and we see that the accounts and admin both are selected, and now we can see the relevant information, and also the pie chart has changed to 2 slices now. Now we'll make some room for another visual. We'll take it to the rightmost and put the filter at the top left corner, and then we'll also increase the size of this pie chart. Now I'm going to add another graphical visual here, which will tell us the employees which are getting the maximum salary, or they will be shown in an order of their salary. We are going to add this ribbon chart. Click on that, and it has added one ribbon chart there. Let's increase the size, and in the x-axis we will put the last name, and in the y-axis we are going to put the sum of salary. Let's see what it's going to give us. And we see that now the salaries are ordered in the descending order, and we can see that the person with the last name Case is getting the maximum salary, and the one with the last name Damon has the second highest salary from these 2 departments. Now let's unselect when nothing is selected in the filter. By default it is selecting all of them. So now we can see that the person with the last name Lopez has the maximum salary of 20,500, but this is incorrect information. Why? Because you see there are actually 2 persons with the name Lopez in their last name, and it is showing the sum of the salary, but we don't want that, and actually we want a single employee to be shown in each of these ribbons. And to do that, what we are going to do, we are going to add one column here, and which is going to be actually a calculated column. And the reason why we are going to do that is we have the first name and last name as 2 different fields in our table, and because of that 2 persons with the last name Lopez are actually considered to sum up their salaries here, and we don't want that. So to add a column, what we are going to do, we will click on these 3 dots here, and we will select this new column, and that will give us the option to create the new column here, and we will change the name to say full name, that equals to our first name. Select this. If you type in the first few letters, PowerBI is automatically going to suggest you the relevant fields, and then one double quote space, another double quote to enclose the space in between, then another ampersand, and here we are going to add the last name. So this is our field from employees table. We will select it, and we have to change the data type here to text. Press enter, and we see that the full name field is added there, and this is a calculated field or column, and it was not there in the original data model. Now what we are going to do in this ribbon chart, we are going to simply replace our last name with the full name here, and that is going to solve our problem. Now we can see that the person with the name Nicholas Case has the highest salary, and the second highest is the Bruce Lee, third highest is the Chris Lopez, etc, etc. Now to make it more relevant, we are going to add some more information here. For example, each of this ribbon will have their relevant value at the top. How we are going to do that? We selected our ribbon chart, go to this format your visual, then click on this data levels option, and we turned it on, and we can see that the values are coming, but it is in the middle, and we can change it if we want. First of all, your position will be, there are a couple of options there: inside end, inside center, inside base. So we can put it like inside end, and that brings it to the top of the ribbon. And now we can put some conditional formatting, something like if the salary is more than 10,000, then that will be represented as an orange color, and if it is between 8,000 to 10,000, that will be in a green color, and below 8,000, suppose it's in blue color. So how to do that? To do that, we will go to this ribbons options under the visuals, and here if you see, there is a conditional formatting next to the default color. So that conditional formatting will give us the options to set the color as per their values. So we'll click on this FX and we will select the options like formatting style will be rules, and the sum of the salary. Don't worry, even if it is sum of the salary, but it's within the individual employee, so it's not going to change the value. Now, if the value is greater than equal to 0 number and less than, say, 8,000 number, then it is going to be represented with blue color. Then add a new rule. Next, if the value is greater than or equal to 8,000 number and less than 10,000 number, then it will be represented in a green color. To select the green color which is not available in the default screen, we will click on this more colors and we will drag this slider, then we'll click on this green color area and then click outside, and it will take the green color now. Add a new rule, and this will be, say, if the value is greater than or equal to 10,000 number less than, we will simply delete this 0 there, and that will take a maximum value which we don't have to define. And then say it will be represented with an orange color. So drag this slider, click on this orange area, click outside, and it is selected. Now click there and we can see that the color has changed. And now simply looking at the ribbons, we can say that there are 5 employees or 6 employees getting more than $10,000 in salary per month, and 4 employees between 8 to 10, and 2 employees below 8,000. And to make the report a little nicer, we will change the background. Just click on any empty area and then go to the format your report page, this option, click on the canvas background, and we will make it black, and the transparency will be 0. Now we can see the visuals are more distinctly displayed. And if we want to change the title of this ribbon chart, we can do that by simply selecting it, then go to this general tab, click on the title to get the title options, and we'll simply put employee by salary. And also we can add a title or header to this entire report here. Simply click on this text box here, that will bring a text box to the canvas, and we will take it to the top, increase the width, reduce the height, and then go to its properties, and we will turn on the title and put a title like, say, employee salary data, and then we will change the font to, say, something better. Our text color will be white, background color will be no fill, and then we'll go to another option, that is the effects, and we will make it 100% transparent. And then also we need to align the header in centers and also increase the size a little, and that completes our analytical report. Now we need to save this report. Click on the save button here at the top left corner, and I will save it in my project folder. You can give any name of your choice. I will just put it like PowerBI MySQL, and the extension it is going to take is the pbix. This pbix file is in portable format and can be copied to other machine and open there using another Power BI installation. Now if you want to publish this report in your enterprise level, you can do so by clicking in this publish button. But in the desktop version of this software, this publishing option is not available. It has to be professional license for this software to publish your work at your organization level. But for learning purpose, this software is free. So I would say learn this software as much as you can and build your career in the field of data analytics. So viewers, I hope you enjoyed the video and found it useful. If you liked it, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. That will help me make more such useful videos to the world.